I left for one weekend. When I came back, my safe was open, my collection was gone, and my trust in everyone I loved shattered like glass. I thought the worst part was the robbery, until I found out who did it and what my family did next. If you think blood is thicker than betrayal, read this. I dare you. It started the way every family disaster does, with a turkey, 3 bottles of Cabernet, and someone asking if I still have that old safe in the basement. Yep, that was my first red flag. I just didn't know it yet. Backtrack. I'm 61, retired firefighter. Spent 32 years hauling people out of burning buildings and eating dinner at 2 a.m. in the back of an engine. Built my house with my own hands back when lumber didn't cost your firstborn. No mortgage, no debt, just arthritis and a porch I'm irrationally proud of. I live alone. My wife left me 6 years ago. Long story, not the fun kind. My son's in Seattle, doing something in tech that I pretend to understand but absolutely do not. So yeah, holidays? That's when I drag myself into family man mode and host. Because what's more festive than watching your cousin argue with her vegan daughter while you silently judge the gravy? This last Thanksgiving, the usual suspects came. My cousin Tammy, professional gossiper, my sister Linda, always between jobs, and of course Uncle Ben, the favorite, the war hero. The guy who once fixed a toaster and now acts like he invented electricity. I used to worship the guy. He taught me how to fish, gave me my first beer when I was 16, and he always wore these ratty-ass leather boots like he was Indiana Jones. I even got him a new pair for his 60th, handcrafted, expensive as hell, but he deserved it. Or so I thought. Anyway, midway through the second plate of mashed potatoes, Ben leans back in my chair, my actual recliner, mind you, and goes, "You still keep your coin collection in that old safe?" With that tone. Like it was casual. Like he hadn't brought it up out of nowhere after 3 glasses of wine. I blinked. Yeah, why? He shrugs. Just curious. Some of those gotta be worth real money by now, huh? It should have clicked right there. Should have screamed danger. But I was too focused on not flipping a table over his chewing with mouth open habit. The rest of the night passed in a blur of pie and passive-aggressive jokes about my single status. Still no lady friend, huh, buddy? At your age, that's dangerous. H-A-H-A, ha. But something stuck with me. That question. That damn question. Later, after everyone left and the dishwasher groaned its first sad cycle, I went downstairs and stared at the safe. It looked fine. Locked. Untouched. But I couldn't shake it. I even double-checked the security cameras. Yeah, I have those now. Got 'em after someone tried stealing my neighbor's lawn flamingo. Don't ask. Anyway, I went to bed that night feeling itchy. You know that feeling? Like someone walked over your grave? I told myself I was being paranoid. That Ben was just making conversation. That maybe he was drunk and nostalgic and missing the old days when we'd count coins like pirates. But here's the thing. Sometimes your gut knows something your brain refuses to process. Because when I looked back, I remembered he wasn't just asking questions. He was watching me, watching where I looked, watching how I answered, like he was logging it. And that's when the guilt kicked in. Because yeah, Ben's had it rough lately. His medical bills are brutal. VA won't cover half of what he needs. He's had to sell off tools, collectibles, even his dog's fancy bed. I'm not joking. He told us this like it was the Great Depression. So part of me thought, maybe he's just desperate. Maybe he'd never actually number. I shook it off. It was family. You don't suspect family, right? Right? I really, really wish I had trusted my gut instead of my nostalgia. Because what happened 2 weeks later made me feel like the world turned upside down and stomped on my spine while doing a little jig. And it all started with those goddamn boots. I knew something was off the second I walked in the door. Not, oh, someone left the fridge open, off. Not, my neighbor parked in my driveway again, off. I mean wrong. Like, your house feels violated. It was 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. I'd gone on a weekend fishing trip with some old firehouse buddies. You know, trying to play normal retired guy bingo, beer, lake, and pretending my knees don't sound like Rice Krispies. Came back Sunday night, opened the front door, and everything was still, too still. No creaks, no fridge hum, no thermostat click. Then I saw it. The rug in the hallway was crooked. Now maybe that sounds dumb. Maybe you're thinking, congrats, Sherlock. Ever heard of a Roomba? But that rug? It's hand-woven. Persian. I vacuum around it like it's the Mona Lisa. I never move it. My stomach dropped. I ran to the den. Drawers? Open? Cabinets? Ransacked. The little hidden panel in the bookshelf? Exposed like a magic trick gone wrong. The safe? Wide open. I just stood there like an idiot. Just staring. Mouth open. Hands shaking, brain doing that glitchy Windows XP restart loop. My coin collection, gone. Silver dollars my dad gave me. World War II coins. The Kennedy half dollars I used to polish every Christmas like a weirdo, gone. Every single one. I don't remember dialing 911. I don't remember the operator. I don't even remember the cop's name who showed up. All I remember is sitting on my porch with a blanket around my shoulders like I was some shocked grandma from a Hallmark movie, while my brain screamed, it had to be someone who knew. Because here's the kicker. There was no sign of forced entry, no broken locks, no busted windows, nothing missing except what was in the safe. And the only people who knew about the safe? Me, my son, and Uncle Just Curious Ben. I checked the cameras. Most were offline. Great job, me. But one little guy above the shed, pointed halfway toward the house, still rolling. Still blessedly, beautifully functional. I clicked through the footage, my hands shaking so hard I hit the spacebar 3 times just to pause it. And there he was. Not full face, not full body, but enough. Gray hoodie, tall frame, gloves, baseball cap pulled low. But on his feet, the boots, the fucking boots. Handcrafted leather, slight scuff on the right toe from when his dumbass kicked a cooler on Labor Day. Size 11 wide. The boots I bought for him. My world stopped, like I literally held my breath and just stared, hoping the pixels would rearrange and turn into someone else. Anyone else. I whispered it out loud like a punchline to the world's worst joke. Ben, what the hell did you do? I didn't sleep that night. I just sat in the den like some vengeful owl, watching the video over and over, convincing myself I was wrong, then convincing myself I was right, then wondering if I was losing my goddamn mind. Was this some sick prank? Did someone steal his boots? Am I being punked? Does Ashton Kutcher do senior citizen content now? I couldn't call him. I couldn't even look at my phone without my chest tightening. But I did something worse. I texted my sister, Linda, the same Linda who once lit a scented candle on top of her microwave and acted shocked when it exploded. I wrote, "Hey, real question. Do you remember if Ben asked about the safe on Thanksgiving?" She responded in 0.3 seconds. "Yeah, he thought you were going to sell the coins. Said you looked stressed. Why? 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 Because apparently my own flesh and blood, the man I called family, broke into my home and stole 30 years of memories. Because apparently I'm the world's dumbest ex-firefighter with a bleeding heart and a broken lock. And because at that moment I realized this wasn't just about coins. This was about betrayal. And I still didn't know what the hell to do next. Okay, I tried to be the bigger man. I tried silence. I tried breathing. I tried every therapy trick I learned from that one court-mandated anger management session back in 2002 after I punched a guy for calling my wife a refrigerator with legs. Long story, regret nothing. But you know what doesn't help? Finding your stolen coins inside your own fucking garage. Let me back up. After the robbery, can we just call it that now? We all know it wasn't a misunderstanding. I spent days floating in this weird limbo. Like, I still got up, made coffee, took my blood pressure pills like a good boy, but my brain was somewhere else. Hypervigilant, paranoid, spinning. I started second-guessing everything. Did I really see the boots? What if they were knockoffs? What if Ben lent them to someone? Yeah, that made me laugh too. As if he even lets people touch his tools, let alone his boots. Then it happened. I was digging around in my garage looking for some zip ties. You know, normal retired guy shit. And I knock over an old Craftsman toolbox that hasn't been opened since the Bush administration. Out spills a rag. Wrapped inside, 3 of my coins. Not all of them, just a few. But they were mine. I knew them. The 1899 Morgan with the nicked edge. I remember dropping it at a flea market in Michigan back in '87. The bicentennial Eisenhower dollar with a weird copper tint. My dad gave me that on his deathbed, right before telling me Ben was always going to need watching. Wow, Dad, nailed it. I swear. I just sat on the concrete floor for 20 minutes staring at them like they were cursed. Because they should not have been there, unless someone brought them back. Unless someone chickened out halfway. Unless he, God, even now it makes me want to scream. He tried to hide them. And the kicker, that toolbox, it wasn't mine. It was his. Ben's. See, a few months back, he asked if he could store some old tools in my garage after downsizing. I said sure, like an idiot. Because that's what family's for, right? Number. Apparently, family is for robbing you blind and then hiding the evidence in plain fucking sight. At that point, something inside me broke. Not like a, oh no, I'm hurt, kind of broke. More like a vase flying at the wall in slow motion kind of broke. I paced the house. I cursed at furniture. I called my son and hung up before he could answer. I yelled at Alexa. Then I sat down and wrote the note. Ben, this was your last Christmas in my house. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care what story you spin. I know what you did. I saw the boots. I found the coins. We're done? I left it in the toolbox. On top. Folded. No envelope. Let it sting. And then, like some cartoon villain, I stood at the window the next morning and watched as he came by. Didn't even knock. Just walked into the garage like it was a damn Walmart, opened the box, saw the note, and froze. I watched him read it. I watched him look around like maybe he'd find a camera. Buddy, if only you knew. And then Get this. He folded the note back up and stuffed it in his coat pocket, like it was a receipt. Like he didn't just steal from me and nuke 40 years of family in one dumb, desperate move. He didn't say a word. He just left, got in his truck and drove off. No, I'm sorry. No explanation. Not even a middle finger. I stood there, breathing like a dragon, thinking this is it. This is the moment. The point of no return. Because it was. You know that old saying, you never really know someone until they've cost you money? I'd add. Or until they pretend to love you while robbing your fucking house. Ben had crossed the line. And me? I was done pretending. Update 1. South. Apparently, calling your uncle out for robbing you is humiliating. Apparently, airing dirty laundry via a handwritten note is cruel. Apparently, I'm the villain now. Because yeah, word got out. Faster than lice in a kindergarten classroom. I didn't post it on Facebook. I didn't tell the neighbors. Hell, I barely told my fucking reflection in the mirror. But someone, wonder who, decided to take my note, snap a picture, and send it to my sister, my cousins, and, drumroll please, his church group. His church group. I woke up 2 days later to 5 voicemails from my cousin Tammy, screaming about, how dare I shame an old man like that? And he's sick, you know? And my personal favorite, you're making this family look broken. Lady, the family's been broken. I just stopped pretending we weren't bleeding out. Linda, my sister, aka Queen of Bad Decisions and Expired Yogurt, told me I should have handled it privately, as if catching someone red-handed in your house isn't already incredibly fucking personal. And when I asked her point blank, would you let someone rob you and still invite them to Easter brunch? She goes, well, it depends. IT depends. Okay, that's when I officially snapped. I told her, fine. You want him? Take him. Host Easter. Host the next break-in too while you're at it. Just don't bring it to my porch. Click. Blocked. Done. The best part? No one asked me what actually happened. Not one person said, hey, you okay? Not one person said, that sucks, man. Just a full-on parade of performative empathy for Uncle Ben. He just made a mistake. The betrayer. I felt like I was being gaslit by my own blood. Like, I'm sorry. Am I hallucinating? Did I imagine the footage? Did I imagine the coins? Did I somehow sneak into my own garage and hide them from myself? The mental gymnastics these people pulled could win gold at the goddamn Olympics. So yeah, now I'm the bad guy. I've been temporarily removed from the family group chat. I didn't even know that was a thing. Turns out it is. You can be digitally disowned. Cool. Ben? Radio silence. Not a peep, not a word, not a shadow, but I know he knows. And I know he started the narrative, because it's the only thing he's ever been good at. Rewriting history to make himself the sad cowboy in a broken world. And me? I'm just the grumpy old loner who lost it, who went nuclear over some coins. You know what? Maybe I did lose it. Maybe I'm the asshole. But at least I didn't steal from the one person who used to look at me like I mattered. I swear I didn't expect anyone to take my side. I'm not delusional, but I hoped, maybe, that someone would at least ask me if I was okay. Spoiler, no one did. The silence after the group chat exile was biblical. Like, I half expected locusts or frogs to start falling from the fucking ceiling. One day you're the guy who hosts Christmas and fixes the broken garbage disposal, and the next you're Voldemort with a mortgage. It hit me hardest the following Sunday. I walked into my usual diner, place I've been going to every week for years, and Doris, the waitress who always calls me Sugar, barely looked me in the eye. Guess who'd already been there for breakfast with his sob story? Uncle fucking Ben. According to Doris, who let it slip when she brought me the wrong damn coffee, he was looking a little pale lately, and just seemed real sad about everything falling apart. Oh, did he? Poor guy. Maybe next time he should try not robbing me. I didn't say that out loud. I just tipped 40% and left before my mouth said something my lawyer would regret. And then came the family dinner I wasn't invited to. Linda sent a photo to the family group, which I can still see from my iPad because tech is dumb and broken. Big long table, everyone smiling, Ben sitting in my usual chair, my chair, at my dad's old dining table that I gave to Linda 3 years ago when I downsized. I stared at that photo for 45 minutes. I zoomed in on faces, I counted chairs, I felt my throat closing like it was wrapped in barbed wire. Because you know what it felt like? Like they replaced me. Like I was swapped out for someone who stole from me and never said sorry. And yeah, I know how this sounds. Boo-hoo! I didn't get the mashed potatoes this year, but it wasn't about the damn potatoes. It was about the fact that my absence made room for him, that they were fine with me gone. I didn't cry. Okay, maybe a little. Shut up. But I did go into my garage that night and just stood there in the dark, staring at the empty space where the toolbox used to be. That's when it hit me. I'd spent 60 years building things, repairing things, fixing what was broken, and the one thing I couldn't fix was my own fucking family. That realization, it didn't crush me. It emptied me. I sat down on the cold cement floor like some old dog who's been locked out of the house too long. And for the first time since the break-in, I let myself say it out loud. I don't think they ever really liked me. They just needed me to cook, to host, to lend money, to carry furniture, to be the emotional punching bag while everyone else played happy family. And now, I wasn't useful anymore. I was inconvenient. And Ben was the perfect martyr. He had the story. Sick, old, confused, didn't mean to. Just a mistake. Meanwhile, I'm the cold, bitter, overreacting loner who threw a tantrum over a few coins. Maybe I am bitter, I said out loud, but at least I didn't lie to everyone's face. That night, I poured myself a glass of the cheap whiskey I keep for guests. Didn't feel like wasting the good stuff. And I sat on the porch, staring out into the dark and thought, this is the part where I decide who I am without them. Not the fixer, not the doormat, not the holiday clown who brings the extra pie. Just me, broken, but real. You ever walk into a room and feel like the ghost at your own funeral? That was me walking into my niece's baby shower. Yes, I know. Why the hell did I even go? After everything? After being iced out, blocked, blamed, and turned into the family scapegoat like I was auditioning for America's Next Top Disappointment? Well, here's the plot twist. I was invited. Linda sent the invite herself. No text, no apology. Just a pastel envelope with, "We'd love to see you there," in glittery letters, like we hadn't just declared emotional civil war 3 weeks earlier. At first, I laughed, out loud. Then I cried. Then I threw it in the trash. But something about it got under my skin. Like, what was the angle here? Guilt bait? Image control? Or maybe some twisted olive branch designed to make me look like the bitter one if I didn't show. So yeah, I shaved. I put on my not homeless flannel. I showed up. And I wish I could tell you I was wrong. That this was the turning point. That it was hugs and tears and warm reconciliation. Nope, it was theater. The moment I walked in, it was like someone pressed mute on the entire room. Balloons, cupcakes, floral tablecloths, all frozen in time. And there was Ben, seated in the middle, like some kind of discount mob boss in a church basement. He looked up, smirked, and I swear to God in that moment I saw red. But I stayed calm, sat in the corner, ate my dry-ass cake, listened to my niece open diaper pails and nipple pads while half the room threw me side eyes like I was about to pull a gun. Then Tammy, bless her passive-aggressive heart, asks loudly, "So, you ever find out who took your little treasure box, or was that just a midlife crisis moment?" I laughed. Real hard. A little too hard. Then I pulled out my phone, airdropped a photo to the smart TV behind her. Yep, I came prepared. The still frame, from the camera, the boots, the hoodie, the timestamp, and then, just for fun, a side-by-side of the boots I gave Ben for his birthday. Zoomed, cropped, enhanced. CSI-style petty. The room? Dead silent. Linda stuttered. What is this?" I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "That, dear sister, is the reason your dining table wasn't mine this year." Ben? He didn't even flinch. He just stood up, grabbed his coat, looked at me and said, "This is low, even for you." "Oh, even for me? You stole from me," I said. "You lied. You made me out to be crazy, bitter, unstable. You are unstable." That was it. That was the line. That was the snap. I housed you. I fed you. I covered your Fing hospital bills last year when your Medicare fell through. I defended you when everyone said you were full of S. And this is how you repay me? He left. Didn't say another word. Didn't even look ashamed. But everyone else? Suddenly real quiet. Real pale. Tammy actually gasped like this was an episode of Grey's Anatomy. Linda was blinking like her brain just blue-screened. And my niece, the one whose shower this technically was, she got up, walked over, hugged me, and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know." That broke me more than the robbery ever could. Because in that moment I realized it wasn't about proving I was right. It wasn't about revenge or vindication or any of that Reddit justice porn fantasy. It was about finally being seen. And yeah, I left early. Didn't want to make a bigger scene. But as I walked out the door, I dropped a note on the table. Just a little folded slip of paper. Simple. "I won't be back, but thanks for confirming what I always suspected. Update 2. South. Funny how silence can scream louder than a room full of people yelling at you. It's been 2 weeks since the baby shower. 2 weeks since I nuked Thanksgiving. Part 2 with a photo and a smirk. 2 weeks since I burned the last bridges I had left with this family. Or so I thought. Because last night, Linda showed up on my porch. Uninvited. No warning. Just standing there with a tote bag and the look of someone who'd seen something they couldn't unsee. She didn't say, "Hi." She didn't say, "You were right." She just said, "He stole from Dad too." I didn't say anything. I just stepped aside and let her in. She sat down at the table where I used to serve her mashed potatoes and unsolicited life advice. Then she laid it out. Turns out, Uncle Ben had been pulling his little magic trick for years, borrowing things, selling collectibles that weren't his, talking sweet, guilt-tripping the older relatives, faking paperwork. She found a whole box of Dad's documents stashed in the back of her garage, stuff we all thought had been lost in the move. And surprise, surprise, Ben's name was on half of them. Crossed out, altered, forged, bank letters, VA benefit mail. Even Dad's pocket knife, the one he promised to me before he died, was sitting in the bottom of that box like it had been thrown away. I just sat there. Number because I wanted to scream, "I told you." I wanted to bang my fist on the table like some courtroom drama and shout, "You all owe me an apology." But I didn't. I just nodded, took a deep breath, and poured us both a drink. Because yeah, I was angry. Still am. But there's something weird about finally being believed. It doesn't fix it, doesn't undo the damage, doesn't return my damn coins or rewrite the Christmases I spent alone. But it lifts something, like a weight I didn't realize I was still dragging behind me. Linda left the documents with me, said I should do what I want with them. She didn't cry, but her voice cracked when she said, "I'm sorry I didn't listen sooner. That's the closest I'll get to forgiveness in this family. And honestly, I'll take it. I don't know what I'll do next. Report him? Expose everything? Or just finally, let it all go? But I do know one thing. I'm not crazy. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. And I'm done being the guy everyone dumps their trash on just because I don't smile through it. A few days ago, I changed the locks. Not just the front door. Everything. Garage, shed, back gate, even the mailbox. Clean sweep. Like I was sealing off an old crime scene that still smelled like betrayal. No ceremony. No music playing in the background. No big emotional climax. Just me, a screwdriver, and a bottle of warm Coke I found in the garage. Because sometimes closure isn't loud. It's just quiet. Painfully, suffocatingly quiet. I thought the end of this story would feel like some kind of victory. That maybe I'd finally stand over the ruins of this mess and go, "Ha, see? I was right all along." But no, it doesn't feel like winning. It feels like surviving, and barely. Ben hasn't reached out, no call, no apology, not even a half-assed Facebook post about fake people with victim complexes, which, honestly, I expected by now. The guy lives for passive-aggressive subtweets in real life. Linda's been trying, sort of. She dropped off some banana bread, which I think was her way of saying, "I don't hate you anymore, but I also don't know how to talk about it." I ate it. It was dry, but I ate it. Tammy's still Tammy. Apparently she's telling people I edited the video, like I moonlight as a fucking Adobe Premiere wizard in my retirement years. Girl, please. I can't even figure out how to get my thermostat back to Fahrenheit. And me? I'm different now. Not better, not healed, not on some Oprah-style redemption arc, just different. The kind of different where you look at your house and finally see it for what it is. Not a home, not a shrine to family, but a shell. A very expensive, well-maintained, emotionally haunted shell. I boxed up the rest of the coins. The ones I had left. Put them in a fireproof safe. Not because I think anyone's coming back, but because I'm done leaving pieces of myself out in the open for others to steal. And then I did something that surprised even me. I sat down and wrote a letter. Not to Ben, not to the family, to myself. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Real, eat, pray, go cry alone in a cabin vibes. But it wasn't sappy, it was real. You didn't fail them, they failed you. And no matter how many Christmas dinners you cooked, or coins you shared, or bills you covered, they were never going to see you unless they needed you. I folded it, taped it inside the back cover of my dad's old Bible. The one Ben never knew I kept. The one with Dad's scribbles in the margins like little echoes. Then I poured myself a drink. The good kind this time. Sat on the porch. Same one I built with my own damn hands. Watched the sun go down over the neighbor's busted lawn flamingos. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I breathed without the weight. Not because it's all okay, but because I'm done waiting for them to make it okay. You don't get peace from people who live in denial. You get peace when you stop standing at their door, waiting for an apology that'll never come. So yeah, I changed the locks, and I finally locked out the version of me who thought loyalty meant losing yourself.